If there's one constant in life, it's change. And anytime you have a major change in your life, there's a lot of stuff that has to happen. And a long process to make that change happen. So for this episode of Stacy Links Presents, I'm going to talk about our move and what led up to it. I'll be right back. Alright, so welcome to my channel. I'm Stacy, and in this episode I'm going to talk about all the events that led up to our move. As you can see, we're in a different place now. This is my new studio, and it is actually my bedroom. I have turned this corner into kind of a makeshift recording studio with acoustic panels on the wall. But I will go into detail about what led up to the move and how the move went in just a minute. But before I get started, what I'll get you to do, if you're new to this channel and you're a transgender person, a member of the LGBTQIA+ community, or otherwise an ally, make sure you go down below in this video and hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit the little bell beside to be notified whenever I upload new content. I have playlists with videos on my makeup routines, product reviews, fashion and jewelry that you would love to see. Plus, I'm doing advocacy for the LGBTQIA+ community and documenting my transition as a solo parent. Also, make sure you're following me on social media. Check in the description below in this video and look for all my social media links and follow me there. So it all started when I ran out of money in my savings account to be able to pay rent. And in May, I was unable to pay all of the rent until after the 15th. However, Boardwalk decided to issue an eviction notice on the 16th of May. They had jacked up our rent to $19.50 a month, and it was to the point where I just couldn't afford it anymore. So by about the end of the month, my mother caught wind of it and she jumped in to help and said that if we could move into a cheaper place, that she'd be able to help us out a little bit better. So at the beginning of June, we started looking for a new place, and we went through a bunch of different listings. We looked at quite a few places, but none of them seemed adequate enough. We came across this place, and this one seemed bigger than any of the other places that we looked at, except for one place. One place we looked at was the main floor of a house. It was 2-bedroom main floor. However, the laundry facilities were in the 2nd bedroom. So we were not too keen about that sort of setup. But every other place that I looked at were absolutely tiny. I looked at 2 other places after we looked at this place, and they were so much smaller. This one boasts about 780 square feet of livable space. The other 2 places that I looked at are in a region of Regina called Cathedral. One of them was about 700 square feet. The other one was about 640 square feet. All right, so after we secured this place, we started preparing to move. The first thing I did was secure a storage locker that I could start moving stuff into that I needed to hang on to, but stuff that I couldn't keep here and stuff that I don't need access to all the time. We started moving out to this storage locker, and then we scheduled the movers. We originally scheduled them for the 30th of June, but then we discovered that Boardwalk was wanting to take possession of the townhouse at 12:01 a.m. on the 30th. So we needed to be out before then. But then there was a little bit of confusion in communication, and it just goes to show what kind of people manage these sort of things and how good their English really is. But I had to sell off a number of things in order to be able to get in here. I had to sell our patio set. I had to sell another table and chair set that I had so I could keep my big oak table. Because we have no balcony, I also had to give up the barbecue, which I absolutely love barbecuing in the summertime. I would generally be outside whenever it's really warm, at least 25 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit. But my mom and stepdad took the barbecue back to my hometown with them, so they're keeping it there until we have the opportunity to find a place that does have a balcony or move into another house. All right, so that leads up to move day. So we had the movers arrive at the old place. They got there just before 10 o'clock, and we started getting them to load stuff up. We ended up having to make more than one trip after the movers were done in order to get the rest of the stuff. And I had to come back here twice still after my mom and stepdad went back to my hometown after helping us as much as they could. It was stressful and hectic, I'll tell you. It was hard, but I'm glad to be done it. I ended up leaving a few things behind, like a hoodie and my house coat, maybe a few other things that I forgot to grab. But the only thing I can do at this point is just keep moving forward and not worry about all of this stuff from the past, and just keep trying to progress and keep trying to better myself, and just try to be happy for myself for what I do have. So it took about 2 weeks to settle in. It wasn't too bad. Braylee was off at camp for a little while. And then when she got back, she helped me hang up stuff in the living room and get other stuff done in there. I still have a few last things to get going, like trying to figure out where to mount the satellite speakers for my surround sound system, because I don't have a table on the opposite side of my couch to put it on. I'm going to have to mount them from the ceiling or from the walls somehow. So we'll figure that out as time goes on, if I even use the system. Alright, so thanks for watching. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button down below and drop a comment. If you have any experiences moving, be sure to drop your comments below and tell me about your experiences. Moving is very difficult and is not a fun thing to have to do. So if you've moved and you've had any sort of interesting move stories to tell, make sure you drop your comment below. And make sure you stay tuned for my next episode. I'll see you then. Bye!